Hello guys, watching Go 2, and today we're going to be talking about basically how did the Master destroy Gallifrey and how did Gallifrey get destroyed? Where are we at? And I'm going to give my opinions and theories. I'm just analysis, is it? Scene by scene of what the Master's saying here to try and work out what will happen at the end of Series 12, or maybe even Series 13 with the whole Jodie Whittaker arc being Gallifrey's destruction and us finding out how that happens, because it may even lead into Series 13. But yeah, let's hear what the Master's got to say, and then I'll break down my opinions of what he's trying to say and give some ideas of maybe how it happened.
Gallifrey, hiding in its little bubble universe. Not sure how to describe what I found. Pulverized, burned, nuked.
So basically you're saying pulverized and nuked radiation. Basically, what could have that power? I would think the Master would work with the Cybermen. I think he would work pretty well. He's worked with the Cybermen many times before, and with this context, he's done it successfully numerous times. So maybe the Cybermen destroyed Gallifrey when Gallifrey was at its weakest. They are hiding. They are not ready for another war, and this is how the Cybermen easily took over and destroyed them. But then again, the Cybermen under the Master's control, because normally a Cyberman would just upgrade them. And let's hear what else he's got to say.
All of the above. Someone destroyed it.
Someone destroyed it, our home. He doesn't look like the Master's normally gloating, and yes, it's his home planet and his own people, but he normally gloats about his victory. You see another scene earlier where he's going to destroy humanity and he's gloating about it. He's not gloating here. He's got misery to the sound of drums with John Sim and the 10th Doctor on the phone, talking about their names, but also talking about their people and them upset. And that's the upset he's got. I don't think the Master's actually killed Gallifrey, and he's lying. Something did happen to Gallifrey, and it's maybe nothing to do with the Master, and he just arrived.
Raised to the ground. Everyone killed. Everything burned.
So the Doctor doesn't believe at this point, and later on we will see she will believe. But people died as well, not just the planet, people. So maybe that rules out the Cybermen, because they would have upgraded them, and the Master probably would have let them if it was that case. Which also links into a Titan comic, actually. Titan Comics did a multi-Doctor story, and it did the Cybermen and Gallifrey and Rassilon from Series 9 Hellbent, and it was a spin-off on that, and it did a brilliant job with the Cybermen taking over. And I don't think it's a Cybermen style, but it could be. But my best bet is the Daleks. And yes, we saw in the End of Time, we saw the Dalek ships destroyed on Gallifrey as well. But maybe the Time Lords definitely weren't up for a fight, and they couldn't defend even one Dalek ship. Hence, no Dalek ships being seen in this destruction and battlefield. Not only is that a key thing to say, how did Gallifrey get destroyed, and not showing us as a viewer, but maybe it's just because the Time Lords didn't have a chance against any Daleks at all, let it be 1,000 or one ship at all, with all their weapons being used up from the Time War. People got destroyed, not just the planet. So yeah, I'm going to skip ahead now. I'm going to pause the video here and get to the next scene, the ending scene. I'm going to give some more opinions and what I think. But before this, in the Paris is getting destroyed, and one of these past Paris people see the future of their of Paris getting destroyed and bombed, and Jodie Whittaker makes a reference, which I think is parallel to Gallifrey in a way, that where there's destruction and darkness, there's always hope and light at the end, which may link into Gallifrey may come back and may get stronger, and there is still hope that Gallifrey could survive this, which may link in with Paris getting blown up and destroyed, and people thinking, is this it? Is this how Paris in this time period dies? And Jodie Whittaker says no. So maybe it's a parallel between that, which would be a good idea. Right, I'm going to pause the video here and get to the ending where she discovers. Now we're back at a scene where she's just arrived home. I'm going to narrasis, just, I'm not getting this word right. I'm going to give opinions on this scene basically and break it down a little bit. Obviously she's landed on Gallifrey now and finally realised the Master's fate and what he's done. As you can see, you can't see because of this, but we're on Gallifrey now, and the tide's landed. Look, there's no Dalek ships. There's no other race here. It is destruction of Gallifrey, especially in this scene. Maybe, yeah, the capital is definitely destroyed, and there's no scene of any alien other than Gallifrey's destruction. So definitely the Time Lord's only excuse of not having another race destroyed, because I can't see the Master just doing it on his own. He had to have help. If it was the Master, it may not even be the Master, and maybe it was Omega or Rassilon from Revenge. Rassilon's revenge of then betraying him and hell-bent. Maybe that was the case. I mean, we've seen Rassilon twice in New Who, and not at all with Omega in New Who at the moment. We've only seen them in Classic Who. So there's more of a doubt. It could have been Rassilon, or Rassilon and the Master teaming up with a big foe, and it has to be a big foe. I know she's in shock, but I'd love to have seen a bit more emotion than this with Jodie. I'm fully thinking she's amazing as the role as the 13th Doctor at the moment, but I think she could have done a bit more. I think Peter Capaldi's acting would have been immense with this. And there we have it. Obviously, the companions are asking her questions and she's reluctant. And flashing back to Gridlock with Martha and the 10th Doctor lying and saying it's still out there. There's still hope. The 13th Doctor has gone back to Gridlock with the 10th Doctor and Martha lying to companions, saying, oh, we'll go there one day, when they're asking, can we go there? That's a little thing as well to point out. But yeah, definitely the 13th Doctor's in shock, and I'd love to see the 9th Doctor version. They're both Northern. I'd love to see the 9th Doctor war-stricken and flashback. I mean, she's been through a hell of a lot, and to see the planet get destroyed anyway would destroy her, and the Master has to return, and he has to face the Doctor. He has to face his crime, and certainly the Doctor would never let him be stuck in that realm as his punishment. She'd want a lot more, I guess. Yeah, I just think this is a brilliant thing, but I think with the head writers just going to say, maybe they don't know what to do with Gallifrey. I mean, we got rid of Gallifrey, I think, to show the Dark Ages where Doctor Who weren't around. Russell T Davies shown this is why Doctor Who wasn't on TV, the Time War. But also he didn't know what to do with Gallifrey, and that's why he brought him back for a little scene, because he had an idea of an episode with the End of Time. But then Stephen Moffat left it, and obviously couldn't find Gallifrey instantly. He left it for a season or two, and then went to find Gallifrey. But he didn't want to focus on Gallifrey. As soon as we found Gallifrey, we wanted to focus on Clara. I mean, I would have preferred if we focused on Gallifrey, but we focused on Clara, and the Doctor just wanted to get off the planet, which is a typical Doctor thing to do, obviously leading back to the first episode of Earthly Child, where he ran away from his people. Yeah, I just want to say this has been an interesting look, and definitely another thing we have is the earthly child, is it? An earthly child, or something to do with that. And we're going to now narrasis. Take a look at the scene. I can't get that word right. I'm just going to say I'm going to take a look at the final scene, which is obviously the confrontation with the hologram Master and 13, and her discovering about this whole thing. Everything's been a lie. Just one more scene for analysis. And we're on the final scene with the Master and 13, and he's just admitted he destroyed Gallifrey, and once he discovered something, he had to do to make them pay. Obviously, we don't know what they've done so far, but I have a theory of something which is a bit worrying about Doctor Who's future, which we'll talk about after this little scene.
Founding Fathers of Gallifrey.
Founding Fathers of Gallifrey. I guess he's talking about the very beginning of Gallifrey, and that sort of presence.
Everything we were told was a lie.
Growing up told us a lie.
You or I. Whole existence of our species built on the lie of the timeless child.
The timeless child, that was it. And of course, this is the worrying scene that we'll get onto right now. Basically, we've just seen a girl right here. I'm going to put an image on the screen there to be a bit more helpful. But basically, this looks a bit like River Song and the Singing Towers of Brilliant, but you can't see it and the screen's a bit blurry. Let me do that. There you go. You can see the towers really quickly. Yeah, basically, this girl we've just seen, this little girl, is a bit worrying because I've seen from Radio Times and The Sun and news reports of everything. The Doctor was originally not William Hartnell. He was a female Time Lord, and that is bad in my opinion. We have Jodie Whittaker and we accept Jodie Whittaker, and that's brilliant. We have a female Doctor, but to replace William Hartnell with a woman Doctor is a big deal. It changes the timeline, and yes, we've had that with Dave Tennant regenerating twice, and we've had that with Matt Smith getting a new regeneration cycle and the War Doctor, but we cannot replace constant throughout. William Hartnell is the original. We should stick with that. You know, don't break something that ain't broke, you know? And also that replaces David Tennant. Our childhood growing up watching this show is everything gets changed if this is true. And I didn't believe it. It was just a theory and people suggesting stuff on some The Sun and Radio Times and news reports of apparently the First Doctor not being the First Doctor, and everything in Doctor Who canon is not true. But then we see a glimpse of this little girl, making me think, is the Doctor a girl now? And are they going to change the whole timeline? Which is very worrying, and I'm not a fan of this if this happens, and it will destroy the show. It will. We've got too much history, and you see fans today with the logic of Doctor Who. They have tattoos of the numbering of the Doctor, and people will definitely complain and destroy. This may be a brilliant series and start off with, but if that is the answer to Chris Chibnall's run, it will destroy Doctor Who, and that will be its downfall. But if let's say this has nothing to do with the Doctor changing as a female in the past, and we just find out Jodie Whittaker discovering something more than that, then I'm very intrigued and hope for more within the show. And yeah, that's basically my analysis. I got it right. Everyone round applause of this scene, and I was interested to do this. I weren't going to do this video, but I thought, you know what, let's just go for it. And I've talked about my ideas and things, maybe the Daleks, maybe the Sidemen, maybe Rassilon, and I've talked about that now in my opinion. Sorry, I'm getting a load of messages of people talking about the Doctor Who episode. I asked their opinions of some of my friends and stuff, and it's a mixed bag actually. Just giving a reference, one of my friends gave a 9 out of 10 and I gave it an 8 out of 10, and one of my friends absolutely hates the first episode and absolutely hates the second episode, and my friend who's a she, doesn't want Jodie Whittaker, and she's basically wants her to regenerate and not enjoying the run even still, which is interesting. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I will review episode 3 on Sunday. It will probably come out between 11:30 and 12 o'clock at night, because it takes ages for my videos to upload onto YouTube. I probably upload the video at 9 o'clock and it actually gets released 11:30 to 12 o'clock at night. So stick around at that time, like, comment, rate, subscribe, get the little bell, and I will review episode 3 all the way up to episode 10 and talk about the series overall, and I have plenty more videos to come. So comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next one. And also check out my Skyfall reviews. See you guys very soon.